Let's talk about something we all feel. That little nagging voice in the back of your head. You work hard, you get paid, but somehow it never quite feels like enough, does it? Well, guess what? It's not just you. And the reason why is built into the very nature of money itself. To really get to the bottom of this, we have to start with a question that's, well, a little uncomfortable. It's one you've definitely asked yourself, probably late at night, but maybe never said out loud. Just think about it for a second. The whole cycle. You put in the hours, you get that notification on your phone, payday. The number hits your bank account, and you feel that little rush of relief. But then, you pay the rent, you cover the bills, you buy groceries, and almost before you know it, you're still broke, right? Not broke in a sleeping on the street way, but in that constant low-grade I'm short on cash kind of way. There's always something else, isn't there? A phone that's getting slow, a trip you love to take, a savings goal that feels miles away. And what's crazy is there's more wealth in the world than ever. So what is going on here? Now, this is the most important part of this whole explainer, so listen close. If you feel this way, it doesn't mean you're bad with money. You're not irresponsible, you're not doing it wrong. The problem is way deeper. In fact, this feeling, it's a feature of the system, not a bug in your personality. And to understand that, we need to go back to the beginning. So let's take a quick trip back in time to money's real origin story. Because trust me, it was not invented for the reason most of us think. Before we had cash, before coins, we had barter. You know the drill, I'll trade you 5 chickens for that pair of shoes. It sounds simple and honest, right? Wrong. In reality, it was an absolute logistical nightmare. I mean, just think about the problems. First, what if the shoemaker is gluten-free and doesn't want your wheat? That's a huge problem. What if your asset, let's say it's a cow, gets sick and dies? There goes your savings. And my favorite one, how do you get change for half a goat? You can't. The fundamental issue is that what I have and what you want almost never line up perfectly. So humanity did what it does best. It invented a tool to solve the problem. And that tool was money. But, and this is the key, it wasn't invented to make people rich. It was invented to make life easier, to reduce the friction of trade. It's a piece of technology, just like the wheel or the printing press. And it was a brilliant invention. It solved 3 huge problems all at once. Suddenly, we had a common language of value. We all agree what a dollar's worth. You could actually save for the future because your money wouldn't rot like your wheat. And it allowed trade to scale, paving the way for the entire modern economy. It was an amazing solution, but it came with a hidden operating system that none of us were told about. And that hidden operating system is what I call the scarcity trap. This is the real source of all that financial anxiety we feel today. So, what is money really? It's not wealth itself. A dollar bill is just a piece of paper. What it really is a claim check. It's a promise from society that says, in exchange for this token, we'll give you stuff later. And that promise only works because the stuff, the resources, are limited. This right here is the fundamental conflict of our entire economy. On one side, you've got resources, land, time, energy, attention. They are all, by definition, finite, limited. But on the other side, you have human wants. And those, well, those are totally, completely, boundlessly unlimited. We don't just want food, we want better food. We don't just want a phone, we want the new phone. And there it is. That's the trap. Money is the system we use to manage that endless conflict between finite resources and infinite wants. And because the scarcity never ever ends, the feeling of not enough is baked right into the system. It has to be there for the system to work. But that's not even the whole story. Because on top of that scarcity trap, every single one of us is playing another game, whether we know it or not. It's called the relative position game. This is maybe the biggest idea of all. The reason you feel short of money so often has very little to do with your actual absolute level of comfort. You have a roof over your head, food to eat. The feeling comes because money's main social job is to measure your position relative to everybody else. Just think about this for a minute. If a magic wand waved and poof, everybody's income doubled tomorrow, would we all suddenly feel rich and content? Nope, not for long. Because what would happen? Prices would adjust. The cost of a nice house would double. The cost of a good vacation would double. And your position on the economic ladder would be exactly where it was before. You see, money isn't really asking the question, are you safe and comfortable? The silent, subconscious question it's always asking, always, is where do you stand? How do you rank compared to the people around you? It's a social yardstick. And this one idea explains so much about modern life. It's why the middle class always feels squeezed. It's why getting a big raise feels amazing for about 6 months, and then it just becomes your new normal. We are all running on a giant hamster wheel. The economy grows, the wheel speeds up, and we all have to run faster just to stay in the same place.
So here is the brutal truth of it all. Money was never, ever designed to make you feel satisfied or content. It's a cold, efficient, calculating tool for one thing: allocating scarce resources. Your stress, your anxiety about bills, from the system's point of view, that's just collateral damage. It's a necessary side effect of a system that's working as designed. Okay, I know that all sounds pretty depressing, but here's the empowering part. Once you understand the rules of the game, you can change how you play it. And that starts with a new way of asking questions. The second this all clicks, it's like a huge weight is lifted. You can finally stop blaming yourself for feeling this constant pressure. You didn't invent this game, you were just born into it. But by understanding how it works, you can start to navigate it without letting it define your happiness or your self-worth. So here's your new strategy. The next time you get that "I'm broke" feeling, just pause. Interrupt that thought and ask yourself these questions instead. 1. What is actually scarce in this situation? 2. What am I really competing for here? Is it a thing or is it status? And 3, the most important one, who am I comparing myself to right now? Just asking these questions can completely change your perspective. It helps you see the invisible forces that shape so much of our lives. And if you think this was a bit of a mind bender, wait until you see our next one. It's going to flip how you see every single major life decision you've ever made.